Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to be starting another reading vlog. So this year and a little bit of last year, I was doing a bit of a series of revisiting my past book hauls, and this is going to be the next episode in that. In 2023 I started this and I was doing it by quarter. So I took my first quarter, so January, February, March, and I read books that I hauled in those months in previous years. And then by the time I got to about I don't know, July, I ended up giving up on it. Other stuff had come up. I never ended up continuing. Whoops. And then I decided to bring it back again this year. And so this year, instead of doing it by months, I've actually been doing it by year. I have already posted my revisiting my 2021 book hauls and my revisiting my 2022 book hauls. So in this one, we are going to be tackling 2023. So this can also link into the new series that I've kind of started on my channel, which is TBR Trim. Basically, the goal of that is to get my entire physical TBR into this one basket before the end of the year. I currently have 7 in there. So we've got a lot more still sitting on the shelf. So we do definitely have to trim it down. So from 2021, at the start of 2024, I had 7 books that I had hauled in 2021. I have read 3 of those books, which still isn't great. I really should have finished those by now, but I haven't. And from 2022, I had actually, at the start of the year, I had 6 unread, and I now only have 2 of those left unread, which is better. We're getting there. And then 2023, obviously this has the largest amount, because obviously books that I hauled in 2023, a lot of these, I think at least almost half of them anyway, I don't think it's quite half, 40%. 40% of them were books that I had gotten for Christmas. So obviously I was not going to have read 6 books that I had gotten for Christmas. On January 1st of 2024, I had 14 books that I had hauled in 2023 that I hadn't read yet. The first one that I am going to read in this vlog, and that is The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. I was kind of leaning towards Rage of Dragons and stuff like that, but all of that is starting series. Probably a good idea for me to read a sequel. Obviously sometimes it can be very hard to fit sequels into reading vlogs, and I was about to go and start 3 series for this video, and that would be silly when I can continue one. So I'm going to read this. This is the sequel to The Bone Season. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it. I gave it a high 3-star, but I have heard a lot of people say that that is the weakest book in the series, so I'm intrigued. Dystopian, I have often said, is not really my thing, and I liked it well enough. I liked it a lot more than Prayer of the Orange Tree, which is shocking because epic fantasy with dragons and sapphic relationship, that sounds so much more my thing than this does. But no, this was way more interesting to me. I still did have a couple of issues, obviously, because I gave it a 3-star instead of a 4 or 5, but overall I enjoyed it, and I do want to read this before I completely forget everything. But we follow Paige, and she is a clairvoyant, and that is illegal, and she gets caught using her powers, and she gets taken somewhere, and the entire scope of her world changes, and we just follow her as she's trying to figure this stuff out. I'm also going to read this, and this is starting a series, and that is The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu. I wasn't sure. This was kind of an impulse purchase. I have been getting a lot more intentional with my book buying, and only reading, buying stuff if I've read and loved it, or I already know that it's an author by author or stuff like this. And I haven't. I have technically read from Wesley Chu that he has co-written with Cassandra Clare, because if you didn't know, he co-wrote The Red Scrolls of Magic. I purely bought this because of Jade from JD Reads, so it was a bit of an impulse purchase. I'm hoping that I will love it. I know this seems to have very mixed reviews, and I don't really know what it is, but I think basically we follow a main character who has been brought up to believe that he is the chosen one, and now I don't think he is, and he is kind of trying to then basically take destiny into his own hands. And we have what's probably going to be my final book for this vlog, which is The Kingdom of Gods by N.K. Jemisin. Again, as you can see, I'm trying to read some series because I feel like these vlogs are a good way to cut some of those down. So these are the 3 books that I'm definitely going to be reading. I think I prioritize the only 2 sequels I have left. Though I will say these are more companion novels than direct sequels, so I should hopefully be able to have a good enough discussion about this. This one maybe not so much. It might be fairly trying to avoid spoilers, but and then obviously we have one first book that I should be able to blabber about all I want. So yeah, so The Kingdom of Gods, this is the 3rd and final book in the Inheritance trilogy. So as I said, I would actually call these nearly more companion novels. Yes, there's an overarching plot, but like obviously there's like characters that connect them all and like they follow on in time from each other, but they all follow like different characters. And so this one follows the eldest of the godlings, so those are like the god's children's, and I think for some reason our main character in this has been made vulnerable somehow and has to try and trust mortals, which have basically enslaved his family for years. And I actually really enjoyed the first two books in this series, like far more than I thought I would, because I feel like everyone talks about the Broken Earth trilogy when they're talking about N.K. Jemisin, and I really enjoyed especially the second book. I don't know what it was, but it really worked for me. I haven't heard the best things about this one. I feel like a lot of people were let down by this, especially since it's following a character that a lot of people loved in the first two books as like a side character, but I'm going to stay optimistic. It is quite long, but we're going to do it. And in case you didn't notice, I have a suitcase there. So I'm going to definitely bring, that's why I'm starting this vlog when I am, because I'm going to bring one of these books with me anyway. And then I'm going to start, because I'm not going away until Thursday and it is a Monday. So I'm going to start one of these and hopefully finish it before I go. And then hopefully the other one I'll read as I'm there. I think I might start with the My Murder, because I actually remember the Bowden season being a really quick read. See, the problem is I actually brought The Kingdom of Gods to Paris with me when I went in April. And as you can see, I have not read it. I did not read it on my holiday. So I'm like, will it be like jinxing it if I bring it on another trip with me? For now, I'm gonna go pack. Wish me luck. So this is gonna be a brief update because I'm halfway through the My Murder by Samantha Shannon. So this is the second book in the Bone Season series. I think I told you at the start what this is about. Follows Paige. She's a clairvoyant. That's illegal. She gets found. That's bad. They take her somewhere else and she learns a whole load of stuff that she didn't realize was happening. And so obviously this is the sequel and we follow on from obviously the aftermath of book one. So we are kind of getting reacquainted with some characters. We only like really briefly got to like meet on Paige, but like we heard a lot about in her thoughts, I suppose. So like it's definitely interesting seeing like that dynamic, like the memory of them versus how they are and how they treat her and all of that. But I'm not loving it, which is fine. I am liking it, but I find I like it when I read it, and then as soon as I stop reading it, I'm like, yeah, I could just like never go back to it and I'd be happy. But like, as I said, I'm enjoying it as I read it, but for some reason it just like leaves my brain as soon as I stop. I like close the book and I'm like, what was it I was just doing? Like I'm 50% of the way through and I don't know what the goal of this book is. Like obviously I can see the goal of the series, which is like, you know, obviously it's a dystopian, so it's to take down these bad people that are in charge, you know, probably get everyone being like, yay, clairvoyants, they're good, you know, that's probably the series goal. But I don't know what the goal of this book is, which I'm halfway through it and I don't really get it. Because like I think I can see what they're trying to do in like series wise and like to get to like the next step, but like I just need a little more. I need a couple more like subplots going on to keep me engaged, to keep me locked in, as well as like the series goal. Because I feel like if it's just like, because I think it's going to be a 7-book series, if it's just 7 books following like one plot and not like having their own standalone plots, I don't know how I will feel about that. So yeah. Also, I just find it extremely repetitive so far this book. I feel like we are just constantly going in circles. Paige wants to do this thing because of everything that she has learned, and she's just constantly getting told no. Like, she has supposedly learned a lot about herself and her powers and all of this, but like it's difficult because like on the one hand I can understand why she has nearly reverted back to the character she was at the start of book one, because like she's with and surrounded by these people again, but like she isn't that person anymore. So like I understand it as like a, this is the way they always treat me. I don't really know how to interact with it. It's getting a little too repetitive. I want her to like finally like get that backbone and to like stand up for what she wants to do, and I'm sure that will come before the end of the book, hopefully. It'll definitely come at some point in the series anyway. And yeah, like it's okay. There's nothing I'm loving about it. There's nothing I'm hating about it. I will say I do hate first person, and this series is in first person, and I don't completely hate how it's used in this, but I think that is because it is Paige and her alone. And yeah, I think Samantha Shannon does a pretty good idea. Obviously I still prefer third person. I will always prefer third person, but at least if someone is using first person, please, for the love of God, just have one main character, which is the case with Samantha Shannon. So I don't love it, but I don't hate it. So hello. So it might be noisy because number one, the window is open. Yeah, the window's open. That's the only thing. Okay. Anyway, so it's been a little bit since I updated you. I think the last time I was giving you a 50%. Yeah, I gave you the 50%, and I have now finished the My Order by Samantha Shannon, and I'm giving it a 3 stars, which is, my feelings on this are pretty much the exact same as they were with the first book, which is I really liked it while I was reading it, but like nothing about this like really sticks out to me as like a story I love, characters I love, anything like that. Like I'm intrigued while I read it. As soon as I put it down, it's just like, as I said, I went to London. I'm back from London. I'm gonna have a come book shopping with me video, probably before this. I just bought 3 more books, and I've only finished one. And I did also read, I think, only like 4 chapters of The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu. I listened to those as an audiobook on the plane, and then I bought the second book, despite the fact that I only read 4 chapters. It's the buy one get half prices they get me. Now, I overall enjoyed it. I had a good time with it. 3 stars is not a bad rating. It's good. It was enjoyable while I was reading it. I think I liked the second half more, because I said in my 50% update that I just kind of like didn't know what the point of this book was. Like I could see kind of like where it was trying to go and set up things for like the wider plot, like the entire book series, but I didn't really see what the goal of this was. And then as like, I'm pretty sure like the chapter or this chapter after that, after I had done that update, a character returned, we started to get more world building, we started to get kind of things moving again. And so I did definitely like the second half more. It really felt like it was like, you know, moving the story forward. And I liked it. It was a good time. So yes, so as I said, a 3 star, probably one of my higher 3 stars, I would say. And I'm really conflicted about whether or not to continue the series. I don't think I'm going to buy them. Also, I'm reading the old editions, which I know is real bad of me probably, because I know she's gone back and updated stuff when it's not a series that I really love. And like, as I said, like I'm not super invested in it, and like I'm not someone who is like absolutely like so completely gripped. Like I'm sure like these really, because like as far as I know the general plot stays the same. It's kind of like the smaller details, and considering the smaller details seem to leave my mind very quickly, I don't think that will affect my enjoyment of the story going forward. And I think what I'm thinking of anyway is my library has the ebooks. I think they also have the audiobooks, but I listened a tiny bit for the first one and I did not like the narrator. It didn't work for me. So I think I might just continue them as ebooks from my library, because like if it's going to be a 3 star series, like as soon as I finish it, I'll probably just end up unhauling it. So it kind of seems like a waste to buy books to unhaul them. So I think I'm going to continue them as ebooks. I said that me bringing The Kingdom of God was going to jinx it, because I brought that to Paris with me and I did not read a single page of it in Paris. And I brought it to London with me. I did not read a single page of it in London. But I did listen to, I believe, the first 4 chapters, only like 40 pages in, because not that much listening got done. And also like the text is really small in here. So like audio pages wise, you know. But yeah, so I'm only like 40 pages in, but I like those 40 pages. Actually set up my bullet journal. I haven't done the September spread, despite the fact it's like now like the 9th of September. I don't know what day it is. So I'm probably going to put the audiobook on and do that. And I've done most of my unpacking, but I have a few bits kind of thrown all over the place. So I'm probably going to, you know, finish unpacking, set up my bullet journal and do some listening. Hi, so it has been what? It's been a while. I'm so sorry. Also, this lighting is terrible. I'm sorry. So yeah, I started this vlog almost like over a month ago, and then I just got distracted by other books and other vlogs that I was doing, And now I'm like sitting in the middle of 2 books for this, and I want to get it done. So over the next couple of days, I am dedicating myself, because they are 2 pretty big books, but I have 3 days, nothing to do. I'm dedicating myself to finishing these. So let's talk about the one that I'm halfway through. So I'm halfway through the Art of Prophecy. Obviously, I told you, well, it feels like years ago, it's like a month ago, I got 44 pages, no, 38 pages, I think, into this. And I really enjoyed those first 38 pages. I will say I'm not enjoying it as much anymore. Tone just isn't exactly what I expected from the first, like, 38 pages. Kind of the synopsis I've always been given is, like, it's about a woman who is like a master of martial arts. She goes to see the chosen one, see how he is progressing, sees that he is a spoiled rotten little child. Not a child, he's a teenager. But then decides that she's going to fix this, and then it turns out the prophecy might actually not be real, and kind of the 2 of them have to team up to maybe like change destiny and all of that. And their dynamic was so entertaining, but I would say their dynamic was only for like 100-ish pages. And I'm not disliking what has happened after that, because I think it is setting up the world. Like, the world is really interesting. But when I really enjoyed kind of the humor between the 2 of them, and then like all of a sudden it's like gone. It's like, what's happening? So I'm like, that's a little sad. So we are following actually kind of 4 points of views. 2 of them are like, we haven't really gotten that much of their characters, even though we're halfway through. We've started getting more in the last like 100 or so pages, I would say. Kind of getting more of them in the past like 100-ish or so pages, whereas the first like 100 or so was mostly just Tashi and Jian. But as I said, since then we've kind of moved on and added a couple more, which I am enjoying their points of views, and I'm enjoying kind of like the talks that they bring about war and all of that. But as I said, it is just kind of like that tone shift, because the first 100 pages was very much, oh, here's this chosen one, he's spoiled, he's gotten everything, he's never actually like had to fight. Like, yes, he is being trained, but he is being trained just like in these moves and all of this, and nobody is allowed to hurt him. And so he's never like actually in a proper fight. And like all of a sudden he has this person come in and like be like, no, you're not special. And like kind of as I said, the dynamic between that was really funny, really entertaining. And kind of also like, because I think I've seen Wesley Chu, he kind of talks about the fact that like a big part of this story comes from like his love martial arts and all of that. It comes from like movies and TV shows and all of that growing up, and like that it's kind of a bit of a love letter to that. And I think you could really tell that, and I think that's what I expected kind of from what I had heard from the synopsis that people gave, and that was what the first 100 pages was, and I was really enjoying it. But as I said, then all of a sudden our characters are separated, we're introduced to 2 more, and it really slows down. And I'm not against a slow-paced book. I actually, a lot of the time I will enjoy a slow-paced book, and I am enjoying this. But as I said, it's just kind of like, I guess, reevaluating where I am, because I kind of from the first 100 I had like the wrong idea, whereas as I said, it is actually a lot slower paced. We are now getting like point of view of seeing how this war affects the other side. We're getting into the nitty-gritty details of the world, because I think even in the first 100 pages, like there was a lot of like talk about like the fighting, and then there was like magical flying nearly, because like they were jumping so high and all of this, and like we were actually, I guess, getting the discussion of the magic system. We were just kind of thrown into it, and kind of like that character dynamic was getting us through. And now that we've like slowed down, everyone's separated, we're getting all sides of the world in the politics. We're getting actually the like development of the magic system now. And so I am enjoying it for that reasons, but it has definitely slowed down. Hello. So we've got reading updates. Like, we're going to be chit-chatting for a bit, because not only do I have my finished opinions on the Art of Prophecy, I also have my 50% update for the Kingdom of Gods. So we've got some talking to do. But also, like, this is a weird angle I kind of have you at. I'm kind of like up. I have you balanced on my laptop, because I think I'm going to play The Sims for a little bit. I always like think, because like I got myself a lovely like gaming laptop. I'm like, oh, I should totally make like some sort of like either making book characters in The Sims or making rooms based on book characters or something. But like, despite the fact I've been playing it since probably I think 2016 at least, I'm real bad at The Sims. That's not important. Well, I mean, it is important to me, but probably not to you. But I'm very excited for the new expansion pack to come out. I try not to. I'm like very rarely buy expansion packs full price anymore, because they are constantly doing 50% sales, and after about a year or so of an expansion pack being out, that will go on sale for about 50% off, maybe slightly more. But so that's kind of been the way I've been buying expansion packs for the past however many years, is I wait for a sale and I buy it then, because then instead of paying €40, I'm paying 20. And I feel like expansion packs, a lot better value when you're paying 20 as opposed to 40. But I'm so tempted by this new one. It looks like it's life and death. You get like, they've added a whole load of more stuff for Ghost. I mean, they've kind of added a couple of things Ghost wise into the base game, but like expanding on that, you can become the Grim Reaper basically. Like, I want to play it so bad. Let's actually talk about books. That's why you're here. So I finished The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu, and I'm giving this 4 stars. It is a bit of a lower star because I'm not really going to expand on my thoughts from yesterday or 2 days ago. I can't remember when I last updated you. But basically, like, the first 100 or so pages were like 4 stars. Like a high 4. And then like the last 100, again, were like a really high 4. But like that middle 300 was probably a 3, which would probably average out as a 3. But like, I really enjoyed these 2 4-star parts. Whereas these were like a high 3. Like, I enjoyed the world building and all that was going on. It just like was a little slower and more boring. And so I'm giving it a low 4-star. The action scenes are written incredibly in here. And as I said, I think you can really like tell Wesley Chu's love of all of these kind of like movies and books and all of that. I overall enjoyed the writing style of it. I enjoyed like that blend of humor and like kind of dry sarcasm, and then like just also like sometimes it's like very much painted like very serious moments, and just like kind of a little ridiculous stuff is happening. Obviously, like the major theme of it is like prophecies and destiny and choosing your own and all of that, and I'm really enjoying the conversations that are coming along with that. And I think that is something that overall I appreciated the most about it, is the fact that like our character, while being the chosen one, like doesn't like magically all of a sudden become incredible and able to defeat like these way more trained and powerful people than he is. But like, I don't really want to spoil it, but I think it's really interesting because obviously like the whole point is like prophecies can go awry, things can change, but also at the same time, so like obviously like we're looking at that and it's like, you know, he has been raised spoiled and like he's a good fighter, but he's definitely not excellent, one of a kind, you know, the strongest to ever live, which is what they have like kind of built him up to be. But like he's good. He's okay. He's not going to magically do it by himself, is he? But also at the same time, he gets so incredibly lucky with the people that he gets surrounded by. And so like he keeps, basically his life keeps getting saved. And so it's really, I think that's like the really interesting question, is it's like, is destiny keeping him safe? Like, it mightn't be him magically in the moment becoming super strong or something, but like there's keep being people that like saving his life, even if it's accidentally. And so I think that's what I enjoyed the most about this, is like that it's like, is it destiny or is it not? Is he just lucky? 4-star. And then I have very complicated feelings. So I'm 50% of the way through Kingdom of Gods by N.K. Jemisin. So I'm there. So this is the 3rd and final book in the Inheritance trilogy. I have book 1 and 2. I really, really enjoyed book 2, and I also really enjoyed book 1. This one I'm not enjoying as much. I feel like I have very similar kind of feelings with this as I do with like books 2 and 3 of the Broken Earth trilogy, also by N.K. Jemisin. So like the 5th season, I really, really love that book, just like with the Broken Kingdom, just like with the 100,000 Kingdoms and the Broken Kingdoms. Those 3 I really, really enjoy. And with the 2nd and 3rd books of the Obelisk Gate and Stone Sky, I have an appreciation for them, but I can't say that the plot is enjoyable. Like, that sounds really harsh, because like it's not enjoyable, but like I'm not as invested or having as good a time. But I do have an appreciation for what is trying to be said. The 2nd and 3rd book in the Broken Earth trilogy, I think a lot of people don't like them as much as the 1st. But like it does have a story to tell. And I think no one can deny N.K. Jemisin. She's an incredible writer. She does an incredible job. She plays with writing styles very, like, in such interesting ways, especially in this series. Like, every book, there's just, like, these weird little things that happen in the, like, writing. And you're like, what does this mean? And, like, it's all kind of revealed later. I always say that, like, N.K. Jemisin does, like, plot twists that, like, you see, but the way she reveals them is so satisfying. Like, so, like, it's not necessarily a plot twist, but, like, I guess plot reveals that, like, she crafts them so masterfully. And she really does that in her writing. Her writing is phenomenal. I don't think anyone's going to deny that. Also, like, the writing, it's both a strength and weakness, I think, in here, because we are reading from a character that is probably one of the most loved in the book 1 and 2. Definitely book 1 anyway. But this is a godling who kind of has control over, like, things like childhood and mischief and trickery and all of those kind of things. And so because of that, he's written quite young, but, like, he's aging. He shouldn't be aging. That is the plot of the book. That's not a spoiler. It's literally on the back. He has started aging. And so we are kind of getting, like, child, then teenager kind of stuff. And I think, while yes, she does a really good job of portraying that, it's also a little uncomfortable because, like, yes, like, he's wise beyond his years, literally. Like, he's extremely wise and also, like, maybe, like, a little inappropriate, but, like, also still very childlike, and it's a little uncomfortable. And it's like, but, like, N.K. Jemisin's writing it specifically that way, and so it's a weird kind of balance. So, like, I think that's kind of what I'm struggling with, is those kind of things, where, like, this, and I think the themes and all of that, I think they are being done purposeful, and I think they are being done well, but I'm just not enjoying or connecting to the story or the writing as much as I have with book 1 and 2. And that's not me saying it's bad. I'm thinking either a high 3 or a low 4 at this moment. As I said, I think I'm going to take a little break, play a little Sims, and then I'm going to read some more. So yes. So I will see you later, I guess. Hi. So I'm here to finish this up. Also, there's a very bad echo here, so apologies for that. I don't have the book to hold up, but I finished The Kingdom of Gods by N.K. Jemisin, and I liked it. I'm giving it a 4-star, but also keep in mind, if I read it last year when I got it, would probably be a 3-star. I've had this rant in my recent video where I read final books / catching up on series, whatever, where I had this rant with when I was reading Nona the Ninth, which was like, my rating scale this year compared to last year, completely different, because last year my 4 stars, incredible, and my 5 stars, like, mind-blowing. Whereas this year, it's like my 5 stars are amazing, my 4 stars are like, good. Whereas last year it was like 3 stars, good, 4 star is amazing, 5 stars, mind-blowing, best thing ever. Whereas my reading has not been great this year, and so, like, the rating has changed. I do not think it is as strong as book 1 and 2, and so I can see why it has such a lower rating than the first 2. But, like, also I don't think it's, like, that much worse. No, it's not that much worse, but, like, definitely don't love it as much as the first 2. But I don't even know why. Like, I went on this whole rant in the first part of this video and all of that, and I still don't really know why. It just did not click with me. I think there was elements of the book that I loved. As I said, I think N.K. Jemisin's writing is phenomenal. I think she always has such unique ideas, and again, the way she reveals plots, elements, is incredible. She does it, she builds it up so well, like, you know it's coming, but the way she slowly peels it back, it's so well done. But as I said, I didn't love this character in the first book as much as I know some people did. But even then, like, I felt no attachment. Whereas even in the second book, I grew to really care about those characters, and I didn't think I would. And so, like, it was just, especially since it's so much bigger, this is so much bigger than the first 2 books, and for it to be so much bigger and not really add anything, it's just a bit of a shame. Like, I think there was some interesting conversations because obviously gods are flawed. Like, in like every mythology, like gods, they're kind of mean. And I think she did an incredible job of like talking about like these gods and their natures and how resistant they are to changing or diverging from that. And like also like obviously like before the series starts, there's like this huge war and all of that, and like in every single book we see different perspectives of this. And in this one, like I really like, you're looking at it, you're like, that's such a stupid reason to be fighting, but like it's like the way she deals with that, it's like when you first hear it, you're like, but that's so silly, like that's so childish nearly. But then it's like, yeah, but they're gods. And like the smallest change to them is like mind blowing. And so like the way she handled that, I did really enjoy. So like it wasn't all bad, obviously, but there was just this disconnect between me and the characters in the plot. And I felt like I should have like felt more stakes and been more afraid. Like there's like, this is like one of the highest stakes, like the world might be ending kind of thing. And yet I did not find it stressful, I guess. Like I was not afraid. I was like, okay, the world might be ending. So yeah, so I think that was kind of the major letdown. But obviously, as I said, I did give it it's a lower 4-star, but I did still look for it and enjoy it. So yes, so those are the 3 books I read for this. And so My Mortar, I gave a 3-star, Archer Prophecy, and The Kingdom of Gods, I gave 4. So that's 3 more books that I've read from my physical TBR, and I'm doing real good. From like stuff before this year included, not so good, because I was gonna put TBR trim numbers, but number one, I can't remember the numbers, and I don't have them with me right now. I might leave a pinned comment, but I'm pretty sure I have the exact same number as I started with, because I followed books. Because I went to London, I bought like 4 books, then I got like 2 Illuma crates, and I've only read like probably 6 off my TBR, so I'm probably about the same. So that's a major fail, sorry. So yes, so thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed. Maybe you did, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.